What is up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why you should consider buying a Galaxy S10 series phone in 2022 here. I really enjoy using these phones. I've done full videos on all of these phones, unboxings, gaming tests, battery drain tests. So I really enjoy these phones, taking these in-depth looks at these phones. So we have the Galaxy S10 Plus, the Galaxy S10e, and the S10, the standard version here. And let's just jump into the first thing that I really like about these phones is the price. I just think these phones are much better than any budget or mid-range phone you can get, depending on your needs, of course. But these are just such a good deal for the price that you can now get these older flagship phones at now. So the S10 Plus you can find for just under 300 bucks, and then the S10e you can find for around 200 even, and then the S10, the standard version, you can easily find for around $250. So these are all very good phones when it comes to the price. Very cheap, very affordable for a lot of people here. One of the things that's just kind of slept on with these phones is that screen quality is really good, especially at these price points. The Galaxy S10 Plus and the standard S10 actually have 1440p displays, so they're extremely sharp, especially if you pull up like a 1440p video on YouTube. The quality of the picture just looks really good. Not only that, but they're very high PPI phones. The S10e still looks very good at 1080p. And they all have Super AMOLED displays as well too, so they are very color accurate, and they're just really bright and just really nice to use. So you are getting very high quality displays on these phones here, and they have a very premium look to it still. They do have a curve except for the S10e, and I've always liked the curve. I think it gives the phones just a really nice premium look here. And yeah, they all have the punch holes, so you get a very immersive experience. But screen quality is just super nice on all of these phones. It's something that I really been enjoying. So if you're into watching a lot of content, these phones are going to be great for that. Like I said, color accurate, just super high res. You just look up close, and everything just looks really nice. So I just absolutely love the displays on these phones. It's really fantastic. Just a heads up for the displays, if you are somebody with smaller hands, the S10e is really going to be the phone for you, simply because it's just really easy to palm. It has a 5.8-inch display. I think this is actually the perfect size because it's not too small for people who want to watch movies and play games. It's not super small. The iPhone SE, I'll give you that for an example. That's got a 4.7-inch display. That display might be too small for a lot of people, so this is a good alternative. Now, actually, the sad thing about smaller phones is that they actually don't make smaller phones like this anymore. So phones that are going to be under 6 inches is going to be really tough to find. Obviously, if you want a bigger phone, you would go for the Plus. And if you are somebody that really wants the sweet middle spot, it would be the standard S10. I think this is an awesome screen size as well too. A little harder to one hand, but not really. I have smaller hands, so that's why I'm saying that. But for a normal person, this would be a really nice sweet spot. It's not too big and it's not too small. So as far as displays, really awesome. Plus, you guys can see with these punch hole wallpapers, you can kind of take advantage of putting really cool wallpapers on there. If you want to find these, I just typed in Galaxy S10 Plus wallpapers, punch hole wallpapers. They all pop up in Google Images. Alright, next is going to be the hardware. So most phones at this price point will usually give you a plastic phone, or it'll have plastic with metal railings. These are actually all full glass and metal devices, so they actually do feel very premium in the hand still. They all are IP rated as well too, so you can get these phones wet and they won't break. And what's really nice about the hardware with these phones is that they actually all still retain the headphone jack. For people who want a headphone jack, you do have it on all 3 of these phones as well too. So they're really nice and well built phones. They still feel super premium in the hand, which is something that I really like. Alright, so next is going to be gaming performance. So all of these phones have the Snapdragon 855 chip here, and your game performance is still going to be pretty much top notch. For PUBG, we can actually play all the way up to HDR Extreme and even Ultra HD. So these games played really well on the A55 chipset on all these phones. We're even able to play Fortnite on all of these phones at 60 frames, which is absolutely incredible. So check out my gaming test I did for these phones individually if you just want to see more gameplay. But just type in Matthews Tech, you know, which phone you want to see. But yeah, these phones do an awesome job with gaming performance. So that is one thing that I think you guys will really like if you're trying to game for cheap. These phones are going to be really great for that. All right, next I want to talk about image quality on these phones. So these phones still take really great photos, guys. So I was really impressed with image quality. And I'm not just saying that, I actually have been, if you guys have you know, been watching the channel for a while, I've been comparing these phones to a lot of other phones. Check out my camera comparisons. These phones still do a pretty good job at taking photos. I'm really impressed. Still takes great detailed shots, very good color. Yeah, it's just been a really good experience photo taking on here. So if you want obviously the best photo taking experience, you would go for, you know, the S10 or the S10 Plus, because they do have the triple camera setup. You do still have the same pretty much image quality on the S10e. It's just a dual camera setup, so you get that ultra wide, but you don't get that telephoto. But they all do a really good job at video. They all do a good job at, you know, taking selfies and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just really impressed with the image quality on here. If you guys check out the video here, it is really nice. So I've always been a big fan of how these phones are able to, you know, age well and still take great photos and stuff like that. I think it's pretty impressive here. So you know, I just have no issues with the image quality, the image quality that you get at this price point. It is just pretty good. So I'm still impressed with the cameras on these phones. And for those who are, you know, curious about battery life, pretty much goes in the order that you would expect. The S10 Plus is going to get you the best battery life because it has the biggest battery. The S10e is going to get you around 4 hours, 30 minutes of screen on time, which is totally fine for this size phone. And then the S10 is actually sort of in the middle. It'll get you around, you know, 5 to 6 hours of screen on time pretty easily as well too. So this one also has pretty good battery life. So as far as battery life, you know, you're pretty much set. And you have all the additional features that you could really want on these devices here. They all come with wireless power sharing. They all can do Samsung desktop support. They all have NFC. Secure folders. They've got all the little flagship features that you could really want. So that's why I really like these phones. So be sure to let me know, what do you guys think about the S10 series? Would you buy one? I'll go ahead and make updated videos once Android 12 rolls out for these devices too. I think it'll breathe a lot of life into them. And remember, if you guys are curious about software updates, be sure to watch my video I did about software updates on older phones. So that is pretty much it, guys. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.